Hi, it's lovely to see you. I hope you're well and I really hope you've had a good Christmas and you're looking forward to celebrating a fantastic new year. This vlog is slightly different. For a start, I have come to Sawbridge on the River Stort. 3 years ago, this is where I wasn't vlogging then, and this vlog is going to be about highlights over the year. So I hope you've got a cup of tea ready and you're ready to sit back and relax. So let's share some of the River Stort and share the highlights of narrowboating in 2022. This year across the canals and rivers we have covered this amount of the waterway system. So that's a lovely little mooring spot. So let's do what has been my favourite mooring spot of 2022 on our travels and journeys. Here we are, this is January time and we are on the Ashby Canal. We're just about to go under the former steam railway bridge, and my favourite mooring this year is not far from this bridge. So why was it my favourite mooring? Well, it's my favourite mooring spot because as well as having things like really good solar and facilities close by, we were just within walking distance of the Battle of Bosworth site, which you could walk around the grounds and learn about the history of the Battle of Bosworth, which was really exciting. We had a great outlook from the window of donkeys, horses and a pair of dogs that greeted us every morning, and Zephyr really enjoyed that view. But as well as that, we were there in January, we were in the middle of the winter really, and there was still amazing wildlife to see, and I had a beautiful encounter with a little robin. Mr. Robin. I really love the River Stort. I think it's just such a pretty river, and also it's really close to London and Essex for my family. But obviously I wasn't on the River Stort this year, so what was my favourite waterway that I've travelled? Do you know, you don't choose narrowboating if you're into adrenaline sports, but I have chosen the Tidal Trent as my favourite waterway of 2022 because it really was narrowboating at an exhilarating pace. It was really exciting. The weather was treacherous, it was June and the conditions were absolutely appalling, but that made it even more exciting. Now this is where it gets really scary, because here, this box which we're down here at the moment, we're approaching, is a sunken island. There lies beneath us sunken barges. But not only was the water really exciting, so was the sky, because it was absolutely filled with cormorants and herons and egrets, and they all landed in front of us. So this is Tegnanbury Lock on the River Stort. It's a gorgeous little lock.
but my favourite lock this year couldn't be more different actually to this lock here, and it's for a couple of reasons. So just keep going, it's going to tell you when to start turning, I think. Okay, it's going slow down, and that's now start turning.
West Stockwith Lock comes if you leave the River Trent and turn on to the Chesterfield Canal, and it's my favourite lock of the year because we had to put our entire trust and faith into the amazing lockkeeper Ian, following his every instruction so that we could safely get into that lock. There is no way we would have made it into that lock without him, because what he was telling us to do just did not feel right when we were battling with the tides.
Full power, full tiller. Full power, full tiller. Quickly, quickly. Full power, full tiller, full power, full tiller. Oh my god. Wow, well done. Well done, that's amazing. We put that trust in you, thank you so much. Okay. Okay, thank you, thank you.
I will never forget that lock experience, thanks to the amazing lockkeeper Ian, and of course the incredible and calm driving of Mr. M.
So just behind me here are 3 little grebes, and I've not seen little grebes for a couple of years actually now, so it's lovely to see them. So what has been my favourite nature spot this year? Let's have a look and see.
I'm so desperate to see otters. Never ever going to see one. Ever since moving on board Alice Grace, over the 4 years I've been desperate to spot otter. I even made an otter spotter cupboard to fill with all the dates that I have spotted them. But I hadn't been lucky up until the summer of this year. Midday, somewhere on the River Witham, I saw this. If you watch my vlogs regularly, you'll know how much I love nature. You know, it could be a fungus, a tiny insect, a plant, an animal, whatever. I absolutely have so much admiration for the natural world around me. But to see this otter like that in the middle of the day, the way it moved, how graceful it was, without sounding soppy, it absolutely brought me to tears. And I'm so grateful that I've got to spot an otter. But this is so typical of me. I took so much care in writing the date, and thanks to Steve Rissy and lots of other very observant viewers, you pointed out that I wrote the date a whole year behind. Much of the centre of this town is a conservation area, and many of the houses date back to Tudor, Stuart and Georgian times.
So this is the centre of the village of Sawbridgeworth. It's a really gorgeous village actually, and I remember coming here a lot when I was moored near here. But of course I wasn't here this year, so what has been my favourite town, village, city, which one has been the place that I have enjoyed the most this year?
There are visitor moorings in Lincoln and they're perfectly fine, but we just chose to moor our boat in the marina for £10 a night. We got our water and electricity included, and we had a great view overlooking the cathedral. Exploring Lincoln was so exciting and I loved every minute of it. In fact, if I had no choice but to moor my boat in a city, so far out of all of the network that I have explored, the city that I would choose to live would be Lincoln.
Good girl. So what about you, Zeph? What is Zeph's favourite place, do I think, this year? What's your favourite place that we've been to?
Five years ago when we got Zephyr, we weren't living on a narrowboat, and even though she loved our garden, quite quickly we learned that Zephyr loved the water. So it's quite funny that we ended up living on a narrowboat, but Zephyr absolutely loves her narrowboat life. She has enjoyed every place we have gone, to be honest with you. But what do I think is her favourite place and why? So before Nottingham, we have decided to stop in Beeston. I think Zephyr thoroughly enjoyed Beeston because we did so much walking, and that's largely due to the fact there's so many places to explore around that area. But as well as this, Zephyr had her very first tram experience, and I think she loved it. Since living on the narrowboat, Zephyr has learned that the swans are definitely always in charge, not to inhale bees, and because I now work from the narrowboat, she has learned that we get to spend more time together, and we both appreciate that. How about this year's funniest narrowboating moment? I mean, funniest narrowboating moment. Then as soon as we went under the 1860s bridge, everything started to become rather comical, a bit like Carry On Up the Canal.
We're approaching a lock, it looks like it's open.
Mate, I'm caught up at the front of your boat. Why don't you know where you bounce a bit in? Can you see where? Yeah. When you can fall in. You be careful. Don't you dare fall in on my account.
Then I arrive with a pair of scissors.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh no.
Oh, you've caught 3 boats today!
Yeah. I've had no fish on, it's just 3 narrow boats.
The fishermen had really made me laugh. And then we went through into the lock, and a boater came to help us. 2 boaters in fact, this one here who's got the windlass, and then we were joined by another boater who was giving us really good tips about where to moor at Autumey Park. And it just sums up basically what it's like living on the waterways. So many super lovely people.
Don't bother then. Oh,
It's lovely, all the help we're getting. So overall, 2022 has been a great narrowboating year. Of course, it hasn't been all highlights, there have been tough times, and of course we've lived in a really difficult year. All of us have lived with really difficult things happening this year. So I'm going to end my vlog with wishing you a happy new year, hoping it brings you the health and happiness that you truly deserve. Look after yourself, take care, and thank you so much for tuning in and supporting the Mindful Narrowboat this year.
Dreams are things to keep you going, like the prop shaft and the gear, but there is no way of knowing when or how they will appear, so you keep the light a-glowing and appreciate what's near, like when the wind was blowing on the day we couldn't steer. Sometimes you really need a dream to distract you. When you're wading through duckweed, switch off and just float through. Admire moths by moonlight and sparrows in the sun, for when the time is just right, your otter day will come.